guys, today I'm going to be doing something a little weird. This is really weird actually. I wanted to talk about things that make artists never improve or the reasons why they're not improving. And I wanted to do this because a lot of people write me and they're like, do you have tips and stuff like that? And it's hard to write each person individually on tips. So I thought maybe I could start doing videos like this where I just kind of tell you guys tip ideas. I don't know. It's up to you. You guys have to comment. Let me know if you like this idea or not. Well, the first thing that I would say that would really prohibit someone from trying to improve would be thinking that their art was already as perfect and exactly what they want it to be already. Like, if you already think it's perfect, it goes without saying you're not going to improve because you already think it's perfect. If you already think something's perfect, it can't improve because you're never trying to improve it. Because when someone thinks something isn't perfect and they're like, I think I can improve my style so much more, I think I can improve this so much more because maybe there's some things you see in your art you don't like about it, which that's totally normal. I'm pretty sure every artist finds things in their art they don't like all the time. So thinking that you can't improve or thinking that your art is absolutely flawless is definitely a big thing if you're not improving. That goes without saying. That's really obvious because, I mean, if you already think it's perfect, you wouldn't be asking the question of improving because you'd already be there. So, but you know, some people, if you're completely happy with where you are in art, and you don't want to improve, there's nothing wrong with that either. If you want to stay exactly where you are with the same art style and everything completely the same, there's nothing wrong with that unless you're wanting to try and improve. And this is just tips for if you're wanting to try and change your art style and move forward with different things, I guess. I don't know. But this is not a full list. This is just like what came off my head. So don't think this is like some really legit thing for knowing how to improve because it's not. It's just from my experience with doing art, this is like what I see as the biggest things for trying to improve. Next is ignoring constructive criticism. Okay, I know there are jerks out there who are going to comment on your picture and just say, ugly, gross, look at that terrible proportions, stuff like that. That's not constructive criticism. That is not what you're looking for. But if someone comments and they're like, wow, this is cool, but maybe someone's arm is too short, or maybe you gave someone two left hands, or something like that, and they just point that out, and then, but they're still being kind, that would be constructive criticism. They're just trying to help you out, in a way. They're not being a jerk, but they're just telling you their opinion. So if they're not being a jerk and telling you their opinion, you might as well think, oh, I wonder if that is a problem, like if you gave someone two left hands, or if someone's legs were too short or something. It's important to listen to that because if you're trying to make proper proportions, that's important. Though if your art style doesn't involve those proportions or you didn't want to do those things, that's different. But I think you know what I mean. Hopefully I'm making myself clear. Number 3 on things that would totally ruin your improving is definitely thinking you're terrible. If you think you're awful and just so bad, you're never going to improve, for sure. It's the same difference as thinking you're too good. You could think you're too bad. If you think you're so bad, you're never going to actually try drawing because you'll just get depressed. It's the type of thing where you draw something and you're just like, that's so bad, and you just think it's so bad, you'll never post it online, you'll never get any feedback, you'll just never do anything with it because you hate it that badly. But that's also a problem. You need to at least put it out there and try not to beat yourself up because you're new, or not beat yourself up because you're trying something different. So it's important to not hate your art either. You have to at least keep trying and enjoy the art you're at, but always think you can improve. Next is being a perfectionist. That is a big problem. This is one I struggled with so bad. Okay, I have this issue where I I used to try and make each piece of art perfect. Like I would sit there and do detail and change things and fix things, and I never actually upload the picture. I would change stuff so much I would never upload the picture. And that's bad because you want to upload pictures so that you can improve, get feedback, and keep changing. And that's also important because then you can look back at your old pictures and see your new pictures, but you can't do that if you're always changing the same picture and never actually upload it. Plus, if you upload it, you get to have fun with your growth. You don't just over there slowly making some picture, and this picture, you've been doing it for a year, and it's never come out because you think it's messy and you never try. But you should have released it like the first time you finished it instead of redoing it 50 times because important to get feedback and see how everyone reacts to your art. And plus, getting compliments will make you happy and like you'll continue on with art. So that's important too, because if you don't ever post it and anyone don't show anyone your art, sure, you can still love art and stuff like that. But it's always fun to share your art with people and be like, hey, look at this. And then you can share it. Someone else will share you their art and you guys can talk. And plus it's like something that it's a mutual interest. Like if you find somebody's into art and you're into art, that's great. So it's a great way to meet friends too, to post it online, but you know, it's up to you. Okay, well, another thing that would definitely prohibit you from growing and becoming better at art or something is never changing. Ever. Like, for instance, if you have an art style that you use and you never ever want to ever vary away from it or try new things. If you never want to try something different, like say you draw, for instance, like I draw anime, something very anime, but then you're like, I would sure like to draw the hair different, or I would love to do a weird watercolor sort of drawing. I would love to try this and that and this, but if you never change, you'd be scared of trying that, and you'd be like, no, that's not my style. Like, so a lot of people do this mistake where they're like, it's anime. I draw anime, so I can't draw that, or I can't add that to my drawing. But that's not true. If you're drawing anime, you can add whatever the heck you want to your drawing, and it's perfectly okay. You don't have to, like, follow some rule of anime. You can just do whatever. Anime is a very wide genre. It could be whatever you want. Oh, okay. So next up here is being scared to try new things. Like I've already stated, you don't want to be scared to try something different. Like, you want to be able to just go around and try anything at all, and you'll be okay with it. I don't see how a lot of people have this issue where they don't want to try new things, and I know why. I have struggled with this really bad. Because when I first started, I started with a cartoony anime. And the first time I wanted to try realism, I was so scared. You know, the reason why was because I got decent at anime. And if I'm a decent artist at anime and then I post a really terrible realism post, everyone will make fun of me and be like, wow, I thought you were an artist. Wow, you're garbage. You know what I mean? That's why it's important not to be scared of those things, because just because you're good at anime doesn't mean you're going to be amazing at realism first time you get there. It's something you have to practice at either way, so you're not going to be instantly perfect. And that also goes into being a perfectionist, because if you're a perfectionist, you're never going to post that terrible realism art compared to your decent anime art. You see what I mean? But I actually continued drawing realism, and I actually got pretty decent at it, but it's never been my thing. I don't have the patience, honestly. I like drawing pictures really fast, and realism takes a lot of time, and I never had the patience for it. Though I'm sure a lot of people do, because they do some amazing art. I've been on DeviantArt, and there's been some incredible realistic art pieces, even done with just like a ballpoint pen. I don't know how people do that. That is just amazing. And the next one here that I wanted to mention was scared of what people think. That's really important. It's pretty much moving into what I was just talking about, is the whole thing where you're good at anime, so you try something different, and then you post it, and you're scared of what people are going to say. Another thing about that is trying different styles. Say, for instance, there's a bad rep with your friends, and people like diss modern art. Say they diss modern art and they're your like family or something, and you're like, if I do modern art, they're gonna say it's not really art or something like that. Or say that your family thinks anime is not art, and you're like, oh no, they're gonna hate my art and they're not gonna actually think of it as art. What I struggled with is people thinking digital art isn't art. It's just like kind of like how making music online, like on your computer, people think you just press a button and it randomly appears. Well, that was what it was like for me. People thought that digital art was just something that you'd like click a button on your computer and art would appear. My sister was into traditional art, and she would always get so many people complimenting her, but then they'd see my art and be like, oh, yeah, is that digital? Like, that was a bad thing, but it's not. And neither is having anime instead of realism. You can have any style you want, and it's still art. It's not art just because it's a different style from realism. Some people view realism as the only art. Like, that is the only thing that is art. And that is art, yeah. But it's not the only art. There's so many different styles that I have seen so much of, and it's just, oh, it's so aggravating when someone acts like something isn't art just because they don't understand it. Like, drawing online is the same as drawing in real life, just different techniques. If you draw in real life, there's stuff you have to learn. If you draw on a computer, there's a lot of stuff you have to learn. And both are pretty equal. After doing both, it's very equal, honestly. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about. I'm sorry for rambling and raging a little bit there. But yeah, it's really annoying sometimes, especially in struggling to improve when everyone seems to hate the style you're doing. That's also why it's really important to post your pictures online or try to make online friends, because then you can find people who all other people that like anime or other people that do that, and other people that aren't going to hate on you because you do something that isn't something they consider art. So that's super annoying. But yeah, it's always important to try and improve, or if you want to, that is. A lot of people like sticking with their exact same style, especially comic artists. People who do like comics or little cute little things don't like to change a lot. They like, well, I want my characters to look like the old characters, and sadly, they're the most scared to improve because people are gonna backlash and be like, your comic looks different, and then everyone's gonna be mad, and I can feel for them. They're gonna like, changing for them would be so hard, and that's sad. But yeah, you have to let me know if you like this type of video. Right here, I just drew some characters for my grandma series. If you haven't watched that, you can find it on my channel. It's just some OCs for me. I didn't know what to draw, so yeah. So you have to let me know if you like this video. Thank you guys so much for watching.